to learn a little bit more about bedside tables and nightstands? Well, stay tuned to find out more. Hi everyone, it's Carol from Discover Interior Design, and I'm so glad you're here to hang out and talk about neat interior design topics. In this video, I'm going to be talking about nightstands and bedside tables. So if that sounds kind of interesting to you, I'd love to have you hang out. So let's get started. So one thing to keep in mind about bedside tables or nightstands, and we can kind of use either of those words interchangeably, is there are like some standard measurements or sizes to kind of keep in mind. And when you're shopping for a traditional nightstand design, whether it has storage and shelving or just a table by itself, lots of times they'll come in standard sizes, depending on the height of the mattress. And a couple of things I would keep in mind is that ideally, it's nice if the nightstand is at least as high as the mattress, but even a little bit higher, like, an inch or two higher than the mattress. And really what that has to do with is just functionality, just making it easier for you to turn off your lamp or, turn off your alarm. And so just kind of keep that in mind when you're shopping for a nightstand, and how high is your mattress? So you can kind of check and see if the nightstand that you're looking at will work or not. And when you're placing the nightstand next to your table, be sure to leave a little wiggle room. So, an inch or two in between your bed and the nightstand. And the overall size of your nightstand will depend upon what you want to put on it. Do you want to put a lamp on there, or a place for books, or, to also have room for a vase of flowers? And you may want to get a larger size just to accommodate all those items. And then, of course, keeping in mind, do you want to have some closed storage, like a drawer or two, or some shelves? And lots of times, a nightstand will be something maybe that's 12 inches and can even get even a little bit deeper than that. And it just kind of depends on how large that piece of furniture is. And another thing that you can think about is, scale and proportion. Looking for a nightstand that matches your style and matches the style of the furniture in your room, but also that kind of makes sense with the size of your bed, so that, you're not buying something too small with a big bed, or the other way, too big for a small bed. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're looking for a table. So when you have a lamp on your bedside table, one thing to think about is scale and proportion. So when we're talking about the size of the nightstand, we're also talking about that relationship to the bed. And when you have a lamp on the nightstand, the same thing matters. We're thinking about, scale and proportion, having everything ideally in scale with one another. So the lamp is the same thing. Ideally you wouldn't want to have a lamp on a little tiny side table that's just overwhelming the side table, and it's just too big of a lamp and almost maybe even overwhelms the bed. So looking for a lamp that is in scale with your bed and your nightstand will make more sense visually, but also just make more sense in how everything works together. And if you have a headboard, the lamp will have a relationship to that headboard, the height of that lamp. So if you have a very high headboard, a very elegant high headboard, that lamp lots of times will work better if it's just a little lower, than the height of that high headboard. But if you have a headboard that's maybe average height, then you could probably have a lamp that's higher than the headboard and possibly even shorter. But it just has to do with everything going together, everything kind of making sense together, scale and proportion. And so just kind of thinking about that when you are selecting a nightstand and a lamp. And then most of the time, if we have a master bedroom, we're going to have a nightstand on either side of the bed. And, that can be the same nightstand and everything's coordinated, same lamp, same nightstand. But, if you want to mix things up a little bit, make your room a little bit more interesting, what about, having a different type of table on either side? And, maybe there's something that ties it all together so that it all kind of makes sense. Maybe it's the finish. They both have the same type of finish, or they are both the same height, or, they have the same lamps, or something that ties it all together so that if you do use two different tables, all of that makes sense together. And then if you have a room where you have two twin beds, it's nice that you can just use probably one nightstand in between both beds. And ideally, I think it's nice if each of the beds, each of the people have their own lighting, whether that's built in or, a bedside table that's large enough to accommodate two different lamps. So it's just something to keep in mind. And the cool thing about side tables and bedside tables, nightstands, tables that we use in our living room and family room and other areas of our homes, is that we can mix things up. We don't always have to, have the traditional nightstand look or bedside table look. What about using, something different for your nightstand? Or maybe you even have like this really neat little table that you always love. It may not be maybe the ideal height, but the main thing is that you're going to enjoy it more just because you love that little table. And so just keep that in mind when, you're looking for a nightstand or a bedside table, something that you can have next to your bed. Think outside the box and, think about something else that you really enjoy and using that instead of a traditional look. So I'd love to hear if you use something different for your nightstand next to your bed and what that is. So please share that in the comments. And I want to thank you for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. And I hope you're doing well. And I really look forward to seeing you next time. And please remember to like and subscribe and take care.